How you guys doing? Have you switched yet? Yeah? Oh, okay. We need to come back into the room. We have a beautiful goddess that's going to share with us. Go ahead and put your hand on your heart to know that, so I know that you're listening. Wasn't that beautiful? Can we just say that whole experience? So beautiful. Let's give Ron and Miguel a round of applause. And I would love for you guys to take this activity with you at lunch and like drop in more with your lunch family, because this is really beautiful. I mean, this is deep work. So I know a lot of you, how many of you loved Lisa on day one? That beautiful, deep, gorgeous, sacred, right? That sacred opportunity. Some of you weren't there, but Lisa took us deep, and we literally got to release our grief into the earth, into the rocks. And Lisa's one of my dearest playmates, sisters, cosmic queens. To me, she represents the Divine Mother. And she also represents the Magdalene frequency and the codes. She's a light channel for the Council of Light. Is that what they're called? Council of Light. And she's also the person that I come to when I'm in a leadership meltdown and I just need this is Lisa.
It's really nice we live next door to each other now. So she can be like, hi, can I
lay on your beautiful, motherly, sacred chest?
Couch.
Yes, the spirit feels it. So I just want to bring to the stage beautiful Lisa McCardle. Give her a hand.
Yay! Okay, wow, what a morning. Look at all of you beautiful faces. It's so nice to see some new faces in the room as well, and it's an honor to be here on this 1111 frequency. So I just want to give a shout out to Krista and Nicole for just the act of service. I know how arduous this was, and I got to watch you through it, and I just want to say just a true heartfelt thank you for being brave and hearing the call, for stepping up, stepping out, stepping in so you could step out, so we could all arrive here at this time. Deeply grateful for you and your bravery. We're all so brave, aren't we? Human beings on the planet. Wow. So, we've moved through some cycles. Day one was where we were currently. Notice we're not there anymore because we're new. Every breath we become new. Every journey we become new. Every moment in this arduous unpacking of remembrance, we are becoming new. So where we were, it was just a few days ago. I know it feels like a lifetime. But where we were, and in that honoring of letting go, of being really present to let go. And then coming into communion, right? Coming together, coming into connection, collaboration, Holy Communion, you and I, unity, you and I tied together, communion in commonality, that communion. And then today we get to take it all into this higher realm, really bringing it to heaven. And the 1111 portal is a manifestation portal. It's a deep intentional portal. It's just as we move through the veils being very thin to communicate and connect to our beloveds and those who are through the ethers, including our master guides, ancestors, galactics, all the things. The veils are very thin. This 1111 portal brings us into a deeper oneness with the manifestations of that which we desire. So I encourage you all as I'm speaking to get really intentional. What are you bringing forth? What are you willing to be in the full embodiment, to know, to live, to experience? And of course, the ask is always so that I might be in greater service, right? It is in the giving, as Ron so beautifully said, that we move into the space of becoming one with that which we desire. So, what do you think, what do you believe, what do you know is the number one thing that has to come into alignment for us to actually be in a manifestation space? Hands? Do we need microphone? Okay. Heart and mind. Beautiful. What else? Emotions. Emotions, yes. What else? presence in all things, yes. And what do you get to do, experience, and become in order to align with your manifestations? You get to expand into the ding, 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 into the receiving. So receiving is the thing that brings us into the culmination of magnetizing, of becoming, of really deeply remembering, right? That level of receiving. So let's take a moment and just connect with someone that's at your table. And I want you to say to the other person, I am so glad you're here. Okay, and coming back here, did you really receive that through your presence? Take a moment, let's do it again. This time I want you to look into the eyes of that person. I want you to say their name. And I want you to say, I am so glad you are here. And here in this moment, and here on this planet. So let's do it again. See if we can deepen the well of receiving. Eye to eye, heart to heart. And if you don't have someone near you, find somebody. Everyone receives. Okay, so bringing your attention back into the room, we have lots of things to exchange with each other and little bits of time. If you all would help me stretch some time, that would be awesome. I'm sure the ladies would appreciate that as well. Okay, so how did it feel? Was there anything that felt different this time? Just dropping in, call in the name, speaking to the heart. Just a raise of hand if anyone noticed a different frequency in that. Is there any way you could perhaps apply that presence? In the book I'm writing, step 1 for all of this is presence. Because when we are in our presence, then the rest of the magic can prevail. So, what do you believe, shout out a word, is the number one thing that holds us back from being in that space of receiving? What is a belief or an experience that we hold as humans that keeps us from being in full receptivity? Unworthiness. In the almost 30 years that I've been blessed to support people in their remembrance, I would say that everything comes back to this basic, am I worthy? Am I worthy of the love, of the things that I perceive I do not have? Am I worthy of the receiving of them? So what I'd like to say is that you are worthy because you exist. Because you're a human on the planet right now in this most extraordinary time. There are souls lined up wanting to get into earth plane reality right now because of this arduous and amazing journey that we are on. The supersonic souls have gathered into earth plane right now, and you are one of them. You are worthy because you exist, because you are a living, breathing remembrance of the divinity itself. So, with that being said, let's just say to ourselves, I am worthy because I exist in your presence. Yeah. Play with that as the day unfolds. So let's talk a little bit about the 11 and the 11. The magic of numbers, frequencies like words, they're all coded. Numbers are coded too. So the 11 is the number of mastery. It is the one that stands to the one. The one being the one, the chosen one, the supersonic souls that have gathered on planet Earth, the one. Standing with the one in the mirror of great remembrance, the 1 being the number of beginning. Perhaps this moment is the beginning. Perhaps every moment and every breath, when we stand in the truth of our worth, our great remembrance of our capacity to receive and honoring that we receive through service, brings the 1 into the mastery of the 11, standing in the mirror. And then today is pretty supersonic because we have the 11 and the 11 standing in the mirror of each other. Yeah. If we add those numbers together, and in numerology, we don't reduce the 11, we don't reduce the master numbers because they are masters. They must be reduced to nothing but stand in honor of their expression, of their frequency. But if we were to take all 4 of the 11s, we have a 4, which is the number of foundations. What are you willing to build upon a strong foundation this day as we stand in the remembrance of our mastery? And as we stand in the mirror of each other, as the ones to the ones who said yes, to stand in this, in the great remembrance that there's a new earth that wants to be remembered and birthed through us. And the universal code of today, so the year 2022 is a 6 number. It's the number of the mother, of compassion, of love, grace, and gratitude. And when we add them all together, we have the 10. So today's the 10 universal day. I love 1s. I love 3s. I love numbers. Thank you for bringing the numbers in. 10 is the 1. And I perceive that the 0 is the infinity, or is the universe, the intelligence, the great remembrance of it all. And so that great remembrance, that great circle, is pulling the 1 forward, pulling it into its greatest expression, pulling it into its greatest light. We're pulling the 1 on this 11/11 portal day. So what I'd love for you to do is move to someone that's really nearby, and you're going to take your hand on your heart, and you're going to place your other hand, your left hand. Let's put your left hand on your heart and your right on their heart. Ask if it's okay that you place your hand on their heart. Permission is always asked and offered and granted. And we're not going to make it we're going to do this quick because we got a lot of fun things to do. And if there's a soul that does not have a soul, find a soul, make it easy. Left hand to your heart, right hand to the heart of your match, of the person who's standing in front of you. And decide who's going to go first. Person with the longer hair is going first. I'll decide for you. And you're going to take a breath, and we're going to come into presence. I'm going to invite you to look into the eyes of the person that's near you, and if that's uncomfortable, look into their third eye. But look into them. And the person with the longest hair is going to begin by saying, "You are the one. I am the one. We are the 11. And then offer it in reverse to the other. You are the one. I am the one. We are the 11. And this time you're going to say it together. To be witnessed and acclaimed. You are the one. I am the one. We are the 11. Yes. Claim it, feel it, receive it, activate it. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. We're going to come back. Oh, well, we have a lot more of these to do. Give some love, say thank you. We're going to come back in. I love you all. I love you for being so efficient and back here and doing the things. Okay. So one of the things that's been coming through from Spirit for some time now is that we're the plug into Gaia. So every time we activate these codes of remembrance, every time we open into this great receiving, every time we stand in presence, every time we speak the truth to another, in the claiming of I am, and in the proclamation of you are, and in the summoning of we are, you're activating the codes. And so we talk a lot about DNA, and we went through processes day one of awakening the DNA, the junk DNA coming online. You know, science doesn't know what to do with the junk DNA. They call it junk because they disregard it. We know it's the codes of ascension that sit dormant, awaiting you to proclaim that you are, that I am, and that we are. Yeah? Take a breath. So those codes come down through our DNA, everything being the spiral. The feminine and the masculine's been coming through so strongly because we must rise it up. We must rise Gaia up, and we must bring the heaven down, and we must hold these frequencies so that we can bring this earth into her birth, yes? And your DNA is what codes that. And Spirit's been saying that we need you. Like Mama Gaia says, we need you. We need your bare feet to the earth. We need you in the full remembrance. We need your codes activated. We need you to plug in. She needs us to plug in. It's kind of like when you go and travel in Europe and you have to get the adapter plug so that your things work. You're the adapter plug. You got to plug in so she can receive the codes that are coming down, and she receives them through all sentient, all DNA expressions, is what I'm told. Through everything that breathes light, that holds a vibration, that holds a DNA sequence. But we as humans, bringing that exalted remembrance, standing here in great reverence of our mission, our assigned mission. You are the code deliverer to Mama Gaia. Do you take that mission in your consciousness now and say yes? She says, thank you. So, the other thing that's been coming through is this receiving piece. It's like, we just went through that exercise of moving into greater receiving, but are you walking through your day in receiving mode? How many of you have been given a compliment in the last 24, 48 hours? Did you receive it? I know, especially as women, we're really programmed in a lot of ways to say, I got this someone gave this to me. We offset the compliment. Someone opens a door for you and you're like, oh, I got it. No, I can do it. I can do it. I got it. And then we come in places like this and people ask us, how many of you are tired of doing it alone? And you all raise your hands. So the opportunity at hand is to stop offsetting what is being gifted to you in all the ways. And it begins with the gentlest. And someone says, you look beautiful today. Thank you. And the next step is, it is true. Can you own that? It is true. That's a real edge. It's a real edge. But aren't we here riding edges? Is that not what it is that we're doing? So this feminine and masculine expression, it's been spoken. I see it as the kundalini, as the snakes rising. I see it as the left and the right and the hemispheres and all the things. I'm beginning to see it in all things. The feminine and the masculine, the feminine and the masculine. And this hand mudra came through me a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not a mudra girl. I mean, I will do it in yoga and I'll do the things, but it's not like that's my jam. So if any of you know what this mudra means beyond me, I would love a discussion. But as I am diving very deeply into the great remembrance of the ancient ones, knowing that it is my mission to bring it up forth into this now moment, I was given this mudra, and I'm going to give it to all of you. Yes. So this, A-OK. It's the left. Everything's okay. It's the three, the sacred holy trine, the Father, the Mother, the Child, the body, the mind, the soul, the number three of all creation. The sword, a proclamation to the heaven. Feminine, masculine, you know where we're going? Holy sacred union. Okay, wait, there's more. Now this finger comes down to meet, and these two come to meet the thumb. So what you're left with basically is this to this. It's an infinity sign. You got it? Isn't this fun? Now we bring the two ring fingers together. And it's so wild because it just keeps coming through, and now I'm like exploring more and more, and I'm like, it's the W. It's the M. And when the two come into their full convergence, the temple is formed. Can you feel that? Like, what is going on? What's happening? Okay, so we are going to we're going to use this as creation tool. We're going to do a very short, 5-6 minutes more. We're going to do a really short, the other thing that was coming is to do a little bit of an activation. So I'm going to take you on a meditation. We're going to do it pretty quick, huh?
Is it time? Is it illusion?
We have no time. Yeah. I do not play in the time realm anymore. Okay, so we're going to use this finger mudra as, and so I'm going to have you close your eyes in a moment, but I just want to guide you through it so you know when I say, I don't know what I'm going to say, but when I say something, you'll know what to do. So we're going to start here, we're going to come up here, and then the temple will be completed at your heart. Yeah? Everybody got that? Okay. So you begin by placing your mudra at your womb space. You're going to close your eyes. Your dantian. But I'd like to take the gender piece. How do I want to say this? We all have wombs. Some of them are more physiologically than others, but we all have wombs. Our second chakra is the space of our creation. It's the deep seed where it's the deep cave where you plant your seeds. And your ancestors stand behind you saying, thank you, thank you. Sometimes they imprint their things and you say, no, thank you, no, thank you. We are complete, it is done. And you plant your seeds. So bringing your attention and your awareness into your second chakra. And we are bringing the masculine, the M, to the womb. I'm going to have you take a nice deep breath. And with all of your attention in this second chakra, I want you to begin to see a golden seed of your intention of what it is you're willing to become. You might be surprised, it's not what you've been generating through your mind, but in this now moment, what are you willing to plant a seed of your becoming? Breathe it. And that seed is going to either move out of the front or the back of your womb space, it matters not. And it will move like an arc down into the Earth star, which is the space between you and the womb of Gaia herself. When you find that space, you will create a loop moving the direction down into and through Mama Gaia, through the womb of Gaia. May your womb and her womb become one. And she will gift you back her blessings, saying, take some of the pieces of the pain from me as well, and I shall purify you. And she will arc up, and you are creating an infinity loop between your womb, the Earth star, and Mama Gaia. And you're going to let that infinity move in the sequence it wants to move. It might be fast, it might be slow. It's a purification, it's an offering, it's an exchange. She says, thank you. It might even move directions and let the infinity begin to swirl in a different direction. Let your giving and your receiving move into an equitable state of exchange. You breathe. You say thank you. That infinity loop continues, and you take your hand mudra and you bring it up just in front of your third eye, so that the remembrance of the feminine aspects of you might be directing itself up to the central sun, raising the frequencies. And you begin to see that in your heart is a beautiful diamond, and it spins and it moves and it begins to amplify the truth of your love. And a loop begins, either the front or the back, it matters not, but it goes up out of your heart and it begins to arch up, and it moves into and through your higher self. The diamond moves in and is activated fully in your higher self frequency that sits above you. And the loop continues through that and up into your star or your central sun. And the infinity loop comes back down through, optimizing through your higher self's frequency and back into your heart, and another infinity loop has been created. You breathe your love up through. You bring the holy, great remembrance of all that is and all that has ever been. The well of knowledge is infinite. It is not separate from you. You bring these codes through your DNA, and the great remembrance shall be. All knowledge shall prevail and move through you. You breathe. And perhaps the infinity loop wants to move in the other direction, balancing the masculine and the feminine in its directions. And you will bring your hands down to the space between your third chakra, your solar plexus, your power center, and your heart. And as we are moving into higher frequencies, the midline of the body is moving up from the heart. So we find the space and the place in between power and love. And you close the temple so that the fingers all come together, and we call in this moment that the holy union of the masculine and feminine as it exists and lives within you shall find its great union, and the power of the space and place that you are shall amplify it. In all directions, through all time, all space, and through all realities, you breathe. You proclaim, I am. And another loop begins, this time from your hands. You see the loops move in both directions, forming an infinity between your womb and your heart, bringing the womb of your seeds of creation into the ever-expanding frequency of your love. The loop moves. Maybe it changes directions. But we have the holy trine of the three loops between heaven and earth, and you as the conduit between, set, amplified. You breathe. Let's take a breath. Open your eyes really gently to bring it all into this physical form, to this now moment, into this space, this place, this time. Bring your hands into prayer, to your heart. Namaste. There is one last exercise. Do you want me to not do it? Okay. It's okay. But here's what I want you to do at lunch, is I want you to go to one person in full presence. I want you to take your infinity loops, of course, with you everywhere, forevermore. But I want you to be in presence and hand to hand, heart to heart, eye to eye. I want you to say, the power I see in you is. Are you sure you don't want to do that? Okay, let's do it really quickly. Get up. I know it's a lot to come out of that, but go to someone you have not come face to face with. Really quick. Face to face, someone new. Andale, andale, andale. We have good, juicy, delicious things to experience. Andale, andale, andale. As quickly and as quietly as you can. No chattering with the voice. Connecting only with the heart. Put your hands on their heart if they are comfortable with that. One receives the power I see in you is. Take them in, allow their higher self to tell you the authentic truth of their power. It does not come from your mind. It comes from the essence of reading the energy of the sentient being that stands before you. The power I see in you is. Receive it. Breathe it. And when you have heard the words, you say, thank you, it is true. The power I see in you. Thank you, it is true. It is true, it is true. Ah, yeah, hug it in. Seal the deal. So it is. I got you, girl. All right. Yeah. With that, we're complete.